So, ladies and gentlemen, after a long time, he is finally back. He looks handsome, he looks beautiful, and he is here to dazzle us once more and to pick a favorite subject of yours, which is marriage in 12th house. So, I'm going to have the expert, the master take over. Welcome back, Sanjay Rath ji, after a long time. So happy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And Kapiel, it's a pleasure to come back. I love the KRS channel, and because I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about the KRS channel, and I said, well, I'm going to do a lot more with Kapiel, and because somehow, I felt very encouraged.
Yeah.
And the beauty about your channel, you're so positive, and I feel very encouraged when I'm here and talking to you guys.
Absolutely. I was just
smiling, and I can't stop smiling. Thank you.
I'm just like, where did he disappear to? I'm like, finally, he's coming back.
Okay. And today's topic, as you all know, is we are talking about marriage. Yeah. Everybody normally talks about 7th house and marriage, and there's a lot of work done on that. But maybe we'll do more of that later.
Okay.
But what we will do today is something which everybody ignores in marriage, the 12th house. Like nobody sees the 12th house at all. Whereas the 12th house is one of the most important houses for marriage. And that is something which is very critical,
Especially with the Upapada concept.
Yes, that's right. The Upapada is created from the 12th house.
Yeah.
That's right. So when we are talking of Upapada, we are talking of the Arudha of the 12th house. Right. So when we talk of Arudha Lagna, it's nothing but we know it's a reflection of the Lagna. So if there is no Lagna, there is no Arudha Lagna.
Yeah.
Similarly, if there is no 12th house, there is no Upapada.
No.
So Upapada is nothing but a reflection of what is happening in the 12th house. The 12th house is where the action is actually taking place. Upapada is reflection, the images that are happening in front of us. The images may be different from the reality. The reality is in the 12th house. And the reality is something which we have been ignoring till now, or rather we have been ignorant of, if I'll use the word, because nobody nearly talks about it. They think, hey, that's not so important. But in reality, the 12th house is very important. Is the bed. I mean, how can you remove the bed from a marriage?
From a marriage, wow, yeah.
I mean, why would you even not consider the bed? What kind of a bed? Which direction the bed is facing? The vastu of the bed. I mean, when you talk of marriage, they do vastu of a house. Hey, how about a vastu of the bed? Which direction the bed should face? Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And then come to think of it, if you have a planet in the 12th house, does it play a role in the marriage? That's so important to understand. And let's see what Parashara has to say. I have a little slide share.
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this slide, and can you see this now?
Yes.
Should I start a presentation?
Yes.
And now it's clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we are talking about, the word here is Neshta. Okay, that's a Sanskrit word. Mm-hmm. And this is from the Sanskrit word Neshty. Neshty is the type of priests. Priests have very specific names, like you have a Agnihotri, so you have a Neshty. A Neshty is the priest who is associated with marriage. His job in marriage is to lead the bride to the altar. So every time you get married, there is actually a priest doing something out there, whether it is a Hindu marriage, where the priest is actually playing a critical role, or a Christian marriage in a church where the priest is, do you take so-and-so for your husband and things like that, or it's an Islamic marriage where the priest plays a role. So the planet in the 12th house is like a priest. Mm-hmm. His job is to get you married. Okay, now what type of a priest have you got will depend upon the planet in the 12th house. It is interesting that the natural 12th house is Pisces, whose lord is Jupiter. And so it is the house of the priest, the marriage priest. So Parashara adds a nice twist to the marriage concept, where he says that all planets in the 12th house are Neshta Graha. A Neshty is a priest that leads the bride to the marriage altar. He adds that the sun, moon, Rahu and Venus are excellent Neshta Graha. Now, what does that mean? That means, hey, if you have the sun, the moon, Rahu or Venus in the 12th house, you will definitely be supported very strongly by these planets in your marriage. Or in other words, these planets can play a role in timing your marriage, because when their Antardasha or their Dasha comes, they can sort of take you to the marriage altar.
Wow. Okay.
So that planet is like a priest, is like the Brahmin who's getting you married.
And this is just the 12th house, not the Arutha of the 12th.
Nothing, just the planet in the 12th house.
Okay.
Something we have ignored till now.
Yeah.
You know, most people ignore the 12th. I mean, they probably don't know it.
Yeah.
They have been doing, just because I've been talking of Upapada, everybody uses Upapada all the time, which is good. But how about talking a little more on the quality of the marriage? On what planet is ensuring that you get married, that you stay married, that you're happy in marriage? Which is the planet who's doing that? So these planets in the 12th house, Sun, Moon, Rahu and Venus, are excellent Neshta Graha. That's what he says. But he doesn't mention planets like Jupiter. When you have Jupiter in the 12th house, what does it indicate? That you are married to God? What do you mean by married to God? That maybe, hey, you are always thinking that, should I marry or should I take a spiritual path?
Mm-hmm.
A spiritual path is like marriage to God. Okay. So these people can be very conflicted sometimes. And on the other hand, if you have Mercury in the 12th, especially if it is afflicted, then you can say that you are married to a kid, that you are very unsatisfied, you're immature, or maybe you're always looking for a young girl. So what happens if your wife ages? Can you age gracefully with her? So these people may have a problem in the marriage because they always want their wife or their husband to look very young.
Aha.
You know, those plastic surgeries.
Yes. Yes, because Mercury is skin, so they want youthfulness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you're right, you're so right. And so those, you're unsatisfied, maybe the nose should be slightly more sharper, maybe this should be, that's the Mercury thing in the 12th house. So we find that. Now the question is, we need to see a couple of charts to understand whether this actually works.
Okay.
So, this concept that we have in Jyotish, where we not only see the 12th from Lagna, but we also see the 12th house from the Karaka.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, when we want to see children, we see 5th from Jupiter, is it?
Yeah.
Right. So when we see marriage, we always look at the 7th from Venus. So my point is, how about seeing the 12th house from Venus? To see whether marriage is easy or it is difficult. Is it easy to get married or is it difficult to get married? Is it happening automatically or is it delayed a lot? So I'm not looking at the 7th from Venus. I'm looking at the 12th from Venus for this. It's about arriving at Venus. It's interesting. It's a new concept, but think about it, because all I'm doing is taking this Parashara's Neshta concept and extending it to the Karaka also.
Karaka. And so in that you will apply the same, if Sun is 12th from Venus, Moon is 12th from Venus. It's
exactly. Exactly. But here I will see that if benefics are in the 12th from Venus, they will easily help. They are good guys. They'll help you to get married.
Okay.
And if a benefic is not only in the 12th, but in the 12th from the 12th, Bhavat Bhavam concept.
Yeah.
So 12th from the 12th is the 11th house. So to get married, I'm not only looking at Venus, but I'm looking at the 12th from Venus and the 12th from the 12th, which is the 11th from Venus. So if we have good planets in the 11th and the 12th from Venus, it's easy to get married. If there are malefics out there, getting married is a problem. So you're meeting people, you are having relationships, but for some reason, these relationships are not maturing into a marriage. On the other hand, if you have just benefics in the 12th and 11th from Venus, whereas you have malefics in the 2nd and 3rd from Venus, then you know that holding on to the marriage can be a problem.
Oh, okay, okay.
So that which is behind Venus is getting you to the marriage, and that which is after Venus is what's happening after marriage. So before marriage and after marriage is before Venus and after Venus. It's an interesting concept, right?
Yeah.
Very interesting. And then, of course, we have the fifth from Venus, which is, of course, whether you are capable of producing a child physically. People look at fifth from Jupiter. Fifth from Jupiter is about becoming a parent. You know, how the child will grow up.
Yeah.
The fifth from Venus is your physical ability to produce a child.
Because Venus is semen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's simple. You know, I mean, when I heard about this, I mean, the first time I heard about this, I still remember, I said, oh my God, it's so logical. Why am I looking at the fifth from Jupiter to see whether a person is capable of producing a child? Producing a child should automatically come from fifth from Venus, and that is called Achadana. So we have certain concepts here, but basically what I'm going to focus today is the 12th from Venus and the 12th from Lagna, okay? And you'll be very surprised to see some charts over here. For example, this is a chart of a Catholic nun who got married.
Wow.
Now you look at the Jupiter in the 12th house.
Yeah.
You see, I talked about Jupiter in the 12th, want to marry God.
Yeah.
Now you're looking for somebody who is so good, who is so spiritual, who is so truthful, all those good things that you have read about the qualities of God. That is what you're looking for. And since you could not find somebody, so you married God. That's how you become a nun. A nun is one who's married to God. But gradually, in due course of time, she was a Catholic nun for 20 long years. How interesting can that be? Huh?
Yeah.
20 years during the entire Rahu Dasha, she was a nun. And Rahu is exalted, Lagna, Lord in the fifth, exalted. She was a nun over there. And Jupiter Dasha comes. And Jupiter Dasha, Moon Antar Dasha, she renounced the church and she goes and gets married.
Wow.
If you look at it very carefully, firstly, Jupiter is in the 12th from the Lagna. It may be debilitated, but it is there. And that's Jupiter. Okay. Second, if you look at from Venus, Moon is in the 12th. It's a benefic planet.
Yeah.
So we have a benefic in the 12th from Lagna. We have a benefic in the 12th from the Moon. There is no reason why she won't get married. She got married exactly in Jupiter Dasha Moon Antar.
Wow. Is it, do you know her personally, or is this somebody that...
Let's not get into that.
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask you if you know if this person dealt with any miscarriages at all.
What is miscarriage?
Miscarriage, like miscarrying a baby.
She, by the time she got married, it was quite late.
Okay.
And so maybe that is why she adopted.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And which I think is often the case, because sometimes women, they get frightened.
Yeah.
When you have not had a baby, you don't want to go through that. They said, why not adopt one? Which is also very fine if you see very calmly. Now, one question that I need to ask over here is, if you look at the 7th house, 7th Lord is the Sun.
Yeah.
It is not the 7th house which has given marriage. It is in fact the Moon in the 8th house which has given marriage.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So a benefic in the 8th house can give marriage, provided, you see, 6th Lord is in the 8th. You can say this is some kind of a Viparita Yoga. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
One thing I have observed about planets is, you know, when they are jumping one sign, then they often can give the results of the sign in between. Especially if they are a benefic planet. And because there is, by the concept of Argala, planetary intervention, it has positive Argala on the 7th house. Moon in the 8th house is not doing good for the 8th house, but it is doing a lot of good for the 7th house. It's good for the spouse. Okay. So Jupiter, Dasha, Moon, she gets married. And then later in Saturn, she adopts, of course. Question will be, why did she adopt in Saturn? The reason is very simple. If you see Venus, the 9th Lord is an own sign. And so the results of children for a Stri Jatak, a female child, I'll see children from the 9th house. And if Venus is an own sign in the 9th, so I'll have to see Jupiter. Jupiter is debilitated. A debilitated planet will not give children. So you are right in saying that this lady may have had problems in having, which is correct, which is actually correct. And then she adopts. Because
also, if you notice, 7th from Jupiter is also ruled by Moon. So in Jupiter Dasha, Moon did its...
Perfectly right. 7th from Jupiter is ruled by the Moon.
Yeah.
Moon is the god of the exaltation of Jupiter.
Yeah.
So during most of Jupiter's Dasha, she may be in very sad, very sorrowful, very, very disillusioned. And this is what gave her some more happiness. So she went towards it.
Yeah.
Jupiter is debilitated, right? So we can see all those things. But to say that she will get married, for now, that's a tough thing. That's a very tough call.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'm saying is that the 12th house sort of forces marriage. It compels marriage. It is as if we made a promise to marry in the past life, and so we are going to fulfill that promise. It's interesting. So when you have a planet in the 12th house, and it is one of those neshtas, like particularly Moon, the person we say will have a marriage normally in the period of the Moon, or the Moon will have an important say in the person's marriage. That is for sure. Okay.
Did she marry a lawyer or just some musician or?
No, it's not a musician.
Okay.
Why would you say a musician?
I saw Jupiter in the Neshta Nakshatra.
Because of that, you thought that Jupiter...
Maybe the spouse had some interest in music, and then her Dharakarka is in Anuradha. Saturn is her Dharakarka.
That's true. Saturn is the Dharakarka.
So that's why I was seeing aspect of Mars on Saturn through Rashi aspect. So showed somebody who might be doing like tax law or doing something in legal loopholes. So
I would think that Mercury over there will have a more say. Mercury is good with money. In the Navamsha also, Mercury is in the 7th house of business.
Oh, okay, that's the Navamsha. Okay.
So the Navamsha, if I see Mercury in the 7th house, I know that hey, the spouse could be a businessman.
Yeah.
And I see this Moon in trines, right? So loves music. You are right about that part. He loves music very much. There is no doubt on that. Right?
Okay.
And so, yeah, that's how it is.
Okay.
So basically, Dharakaraka is also with Mercury. So basically, she finds Mercury and marries Mercury.
Yeah.
You are right. That's right. That Mercury part was right. And also the Moon part, I'm sure, is also very right.
Yeah.
But what was very interesting, that Saturn, that adopted child, came in Saturn Dasha, Saturn Antardasha. You see?
Right. And Rahu in the 5th house obviously shows there's be something unusual with the children, something foreign.
That's true. Very true. Very, very true. Rahu in the 5th is bound to have something further. Rahu's dispositor is Mercury, which is conjoining Saturn.
Yeah.
We can say that the 5th Lord, Mercury, has joined Saturn. That is why in Saturn Dasha, Saturn Antardasha, she adopted the child. Because Mercury is connecting Rahu and Saturn with the 5th house.
Yeah.
That is the use of adoption. It's simple straight combinations. You know, often people look for very twisted things. It's a simple straight thing. 5th house Rahu, 5th Lord Mercury with Saturn. It's a straight combination. Both are Vayu planets. Vayu winds coming from outside, coming from the wind.
Absolutely.
So that's an interesting thing that I saw in this chart. I've got another chart for you. Another marriage. Just like the previous case, you see the 12th from Venus. You see, when we look at the 12th house from Venus, we have Mercury.
Yeah.
Okay. And this Mercury is again with Saturn. You see over here? It's very interesting that in this case, the dates are very close to each other. The dates are very close to each other. That's why you will find similar, but born a few days later. Okay. You can see this is 13/11/1926. And if I do the previous chart, you see 2/11/1926. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very interesting. November 1926, 2nd November, and the other one is 13 November.
13. Oh, wow.
So you see that the planets are so same. Okay, and the other one was Aquarius Lagna, and this one is Leo Lagna. Okay, and both of them were Catholic nuns, and both of them got married.
Wow.
This and this one also left the church after about 20 years and married in 73. Now this one married in Saturn Dasha, Sun Antardasha. How do we get Saturn and Sun as planets involved with the 12th house? Is it the 12th house?
Well, obviously Saturn rules the 7th house, and then Sun is conjunct the Karka of marriage, Venus, in the sign of Libra. So they become, and especially
No.
from Saturn.
Sun is the first lord with Venus. Saturn is the 7th lord with Mercury.
Mercury, yeah.
So we can say a simple straight combination. Hey, Saturn is the 7th lord. Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, the other 7th lord, co-lord of the 7th house, Rahu, is in the 11th house.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is aspecting the sun over here.
Yeah.
So both these planets, Rahu and Saturn, have got involved, who are the lords of the 7th house. And what is very important is Moon in the 7th house is the 12th lord. That is what I wanted to point out.
Okay.
So basically what has happened in this case is 12th lord is in the 7th house. So therefore the 7th and 12th have got strongly linked. 7th lord in the 12th is different from 12th lord in the 7th.
Okay.
Because 12th lord in the 7th is enforcing marriage. 7th lord in the 12th is letting go of relationships.
Letting go of it, yeah.
Is the
somebody from foreign might be coming in their life.
You are right.
Yeah.
Somebody is coming, casual from abroad, from somewhere, from the 12th house, coming. They must come from behind.
Yeah.
From behind, is observing you from behind, quietly observes you, and then approaches. Right. So that's how this whole thing happens.
They must have married somebody who has a lot of rental properties.
That is, no, but in both cases, you look at this Venus in the 7th in own sign.
Yeah.
This is a very strong Venus in the 7th house. Okay. And further, if you look at the, these planets, if you see the marriage happened in 73 in Saturn's Sun, if you look over here, Saturn is also in Sun's Navamsha.
Yeah.
And anyway, whatever it is, but the whole point is the 12th Lord Moon in the Sun. You see, my point in the earlier case was the planet in the 12th house.
Yeah.
12th from Venus, 12th from here. Here I am seeing is the 12th Lord where it is placed, even that makes a very important say.
Now, one thing you said about Venus having 2nd and 3rd versus 12 and 11. So if you look, Saturn is 2nd from Venus, Ketu is 3rd from Venus. That means it must have been hard to sustain.
Exactly.
The marriage.
Exactly. What is sustaining is Mercury.
Okay.
So what is happening is you can see the Saturn Mercury thing,
For sake of children, maybe.
Yeah. So Saturn Dasha, she got married because Saturn is basically giving Mercury's results as being a benefit. But when Mercury Dasha will come, Saturn's results will come. Okay, so let's not get there. But the whole point is that she did get married.
Okay.
That's my point. Because these are very difficult cases. Point is, why would a Catholic nun get married? And why will somebody give up sannyas?
Yeah.
Being a nun is like sannyas. All right. Unless you have... So the 12th Lord can be a major disturbance in your spiritual life unless it is strongly supporting the Lagnesh. Okay.
I remember in one of your conferences, you said 5th Lord in the 6th house, or parivartan between the 5th and 6th can create somebody who becomes a monk.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly
right. I just saw that with the 5th Lord in the 6th house.
Yeah, because 6th is the house of Brahmacharya. 5th is your mantra, what is in your mind all the time. So if the 5th Lord goes to 6th house and the 6th Lord is in the 5th, I mean, basically all the time in your mind, you are thinking about brahmacharya, spirituality, do this sadhana, do that mantra today, do that thing tomorrow. Okay, this festival is coming up. I should try to do that. That is how these people become spiritual. Go slowly, step by
So
step.
6th house is like daily routine. So your daily routines is just about mantras and.
Exactly, and it's totally into mantras. In fact, there is a dictum which says that if the 4th lord is in the 6th house, the person is very much into meditations and mantras as a daily routine. Because 4th is what makes you happy. And if it is in the 6th, so your daily routine does compose of a spiritual path, a strong spiritual path. That is moksha trikona. You see 4th house?
Yeah.
So 4th lord in the 6th, which means you are spiritual on a daily basis. Okay, anyway, now we are going to why the marriage fails over here. Actually, I wanted to know.
Okay.
Now, if you look at this chart, 12th house from Lagna does have 2 planets. We have the Sun over here and we have Mercury over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier, I talked about Mercury as being immature, right?
Yeah.
And let's look at the degrees. Sun is 28 degrees and Mercury is 12 degrees. They're quite far. You can see that.
Yeah.
But still, it may be, some people say 17 degrees, 17 degrees. So if we take 17 for Mercury, then, well, it is just entered combustion. Just entered combustion. So it is in that gray area where maybe it is combust, but maybe it is out of combustion. Okay. And on top of that, we have the Sun in the 12th. Sun is a Neshty. Sun will give marriage. Sun will say you have to get married. On top of that, we have Moon in the 8th again, and Jupiter again in the 8th, supporting that 8-12 axis,
Okay.
And Venus, I have a malefic in the 12th and I have a malefic in the 11th, because the Sun will be treated as a malefic.
So late marriage, probably.
Exactly, that was what. So she leaves the church after another 20 years in Ketu Dasha, Mercury Antar Dasha. Look at that.
Wow.
For what purpose? To get married. But the marriage fails in 3 years' time because Mercury is combust.
Okay.
You see, that was my point about the 12th house. When you are getting married in the period of a planet that is in the 12th house, that planet should not be combust, should not be weak, should not be destroyed. If it is, your marriage is going to be in trouble.
Okay.
And here we are not talking about the 4 planets that Parashara has mentioned. What are the 4? Sun, Moon, Rahu, and Venus. If these planets are getting you married, you don't want to let go of marriage. You try everything under the sun to hold on to the marriage. Marriage is very important for you.
And this is also, wow, this is also a nun. Wow.
It's so, to understand that Parashara has specifically pointed out 4 planets. But Mercury, funny, when I studied that, I actually was looking, is there an error? He doesn't mention Mercury. Mercury is one of these laughter, friendships. I mean, why is Mercury not supporting? And why is he not there in that list? And what about Jupiter? Jupiter is also not in the list, which means what Parashara is trying to say, that hey, when it comes to marriage, Jupiter is not as helpful as these others.
Okay.
So fine. So here we see that Mercury in the 12th, Ketu Dasha, Mercury Antar, she left the church so that she'll marry, and she married, but the marriage failed. It failed in about 3 years' time.
I feel like the person may have been a very good prolific writer or even working in government, whoever she may have been.
Ketu is in the 7th house in the Navamsha. That was a mistake,
Yeah, yeah.
You look at the Navamsha, Ketu is in the 7th house.
Yep.
I mean,
and then Jupiter is in the 12th house with Saturn.
Yeah, yep. That is depression.
Yeah.
Serious depression coming over there. And Ketu Dasha, Mercury, I mean, anyway. These are people who make mistakes. So in Jyotish, when we see that a planet is in the 12th house, other than these 4, and the person is getting married in that time, we don't want that guy to be combust. If it is combust, the marriage is not going to last. Because the combust planet really cannot give you a long-term marriage.
Wow.
And what do we need to do to ensure that the marriage lasts? Hey, strengthen that planet in the 12th house. Do everything necessary to strengthen that planet in the 12th house, and the marriage will survive. For example, it's something as simple as that. Let's say somebody has moon. 12th is the house of donations. So this is what I say, that it's about donation. It's about giving. So let's say somebody has the sun in the 12th house. Why don't you give some money to the sun? Has to do with temples and churches. So donate some money at a temple. Moon in the 12th house, donate some rice. It's like that, donations based upon the planet in the 12th house.
Okay. Wow.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Here is, we have Rahu in the 12th house now. This is what I found a bit conflicting, and I needed to discuss this a little bit. This person has had 5 marriages.
Wow.
5. 3 marriages were less than a year each. And all spouses he has been with them for about 15 plus years. So sometimes they get married and then they break and then still they are together. I mean, I never understood. One of them, he was with 28 plus years. So even after the marriage is dissolved, he still continues in the relationship. One more peculiar thing. All spouses were chronic alcoholics, or they became chronic alcoholics. Okay?
Okay.
Now he's living with the 6th spouse, but he dared not marry her. He's so scared. He says, as soon as I marry them, I don't know what goes wrong. I just don't know what goes wrong. Now, if you look at the 7th house, it's very nice. 7th Lord Jupiter is in the 2nd house. It's very, very nice. There is no problem in the 7th house. Okay. But if you look at the 12th house, there is a Rahu in Leo. You see, that's where the problem is. Rahu in the 12th house is not a problem by himself, because he's a good Neshtagra.
Yeah.
He will definitely get you married. That's what Parashara says. You don't have any problems in finding a partner. You will easily find partner with Rahu in the 12th. But what the problem is happening out here is he's sitting in Leo, where you are going to get judgmental. Hey, this is the rule. The Leo is about government.
Yeah.
Rules and regulations, and you can't do this, and you can do this, and you can't do. I mean, it's a mess. Rahu and Leo in the 12th.
Right.
So basically, he is continuing in a relationship, but it's not fine. It's a very funny situation. So you can see that Rahu, because that's why I said, look at Rahu as an Neshta. He's very, very different. Jupiter in the 12th house, Moon in the 8th, it was super. Rahu in the 12th, Moon in the 8th, it's hopeless. Whenever I'm looking at 12th, I need to look at 8th. I need a balance over here.
Okay, like 2, 12, 8, 12, 3, 11 concept.
Exactly.
Okay.
It is some kind of a balance on the 4th house of home. It completes the home trine. You see, the 4, 8, and 12 are a trine.
Yeah.
So 8 and 12 should not have planets that are highly inimical to each other. If they do, then you are creating a conflict scenario at home. Because these planets are impacting what you call as home. That's the reason why a planet in the 12th house you are choosing as spouse, because that person seems to define your home. Your concept of home in your head is where my spouse will sleep. The bedroom, the bed.
Yeah.
That's how 12th house, And most important, 12th house is faith. You believe in this planet over here. You blindly have faith on them. But this is a conflicting scenario, so that's why the relationships don't last. They become alcoholics and they have a lot of problems because Rahu in Leo is too much of an enjoyer. Here we have another chart. He is a male, again married 5 times. By the time he was 31 years of age.
What? Oh my God.
Kapiel, can you? I honestly don't know what to call it. What is that? Is that a marriage? I mean, what is that?
Yeah. The Lord, 7th Lord.
You would say that this guy is the typical monk.
Now, what yoga creates so many marriages? besides this 12th house concept, what is that one thing that shows that a person will just keep getting married over and over again?
You look at the malefics in the 12th and the 11th from Venus. That means this person, although he is saying he's married, is actually not.
It's supposed to be denying or delaying the marriage. It says, no, you're not going to get the right marriage early.
So he's rushing into marriages because he's afraid that, hey, this marriage is not, he's rushing into them. These relationships are relationships, and before the break, he's so scared. Mangal in the 12th house, bottled up emotions. Oh my God, if I say this, she will get angry and go away. I should not say this. I should not say this. Hold on, hold on, hold on. She says, yes, I get married. Oh, I'm relaxed. Now I can say. And then you open your mouth, the marriage is over.
Okay. And obviously, malefic sun is in the second from Venus. So sustenance of marriage is not going to be helpful there.
Sun is a malefic in the second from Venus. And the third from Venus is Capricorn, which is not also very helpful because the Lord Saturn is debilitated. Now, in this concept, you didn't talk about Ketu being in the 12th. How is that? Ketu within the 12th? Has Parashara... Look. We already had a problem with Jupiter in the 12th. You saw. Yeah. Married to God. Married to God, yeah. Also married to Moksha. What about Ketu in the 12th? Yeah. My husband will give me Moksha. What is that? How does your husband give you Moksha? Yeah. I mean, either he kills you. Yeah. So that's why they say, Mars and Ketu in the 12th house. I mean, it's seriously dangerous combination. Who was that? King Edward VIII? Look at his chart. You will find that Mars, Ketu in the 2, 6, 8, 12. Shadow houses. That's why I say 2, 6, 8 and 12 are very shadow houses. Oh. And do you ever use the concept of Gulika and Mandi? I do a lot. So would they also affect in this? Particularly, Mandi afflicts the Rashi where he is placed, and Gulika afflicts the Nakshatra. See, that is the difference between the two. People use Gulika and Mandi in one breath. Yeah. In fact, Phaladipika has even gone to the extent of saying that, hey, both of them are the same. Literally, the way he talks about Mandi and Gulika, in one breath, sometimes he's calling it Mandi, sometimes he's calling it Gulika. So he has made the mistake of treating both of them to be the same. But in reality, they are not. Oh. They are different. The calculations are different. Mandi calculation is different from Gulika calculation. And Mandi afflicts the Rashi, whereas Gulika afflicts the Nakshatra. Now the Nakshatra where Gulika, do we have Gulika here? No, these are Ghatika Lagnas. Oh, I don't have them here. Yeah, I didn't see them. Talk about Mandi and Gulika. Maybe next time we can do a little bit on Upajjhaya. Yeah, I would love to know about them. Yes. That will be very interesting. So by now, I think I have given some kind of an idea about why we are looking at the 12th house, right? And the 12th house is the bed. It is faith in the relationship, and that's very important. Now, I know someone's going to ask me this, is what is the difference in studying the 12th house versus the Upapada? See, 12th house, Upapada is the manifestation, is finally how it will manifest, how it will come. Okay, 12th house is what do I believe? Something comes if I have a belief that it will come, that is my goal, that is my path. Okay. But if I don't believe it, it will never happen. Look at this chart of Sri Chandrasekhara Saraswati. Okay. Look at the 12th Lord. 12th Lord is moon. And how is the moon? It is debilitated. Yeah. Did he marry? Never. He was perfect brahmachari throughout his life, took sannyas, became the Shankaracharya of Kanchi. So if the 12th Lord is debilitated, you are a hardcore brahmachari. You are very good in brahmacharya. Wow. Okay. So why? Because you don't believe that somebody else can share your bed. 12th Lord is debilitated. I have a small bed and I will not share this small bed with anybody. Get the idea?
Yeah. And look at the remember the bullet concept you showed us? Navamsha, 7th Lord is in Aquarius. It took a bullet.
Yep. It works.
Yeah.
Now you see, it's so interesting. When I was seeing this 12th, I said, we are breaking our head to decide whether somebody will marry or not. And even if the person marries by mistake, like you saw that lady, come back to that nut. You see here 12th house, no planets, 12th debilitated. There are no planets in the 12th house. So that's why I'm taking the 12th Lord, which is debilitated. Okay. Now here you see, Swami Vivekananda, Rahu is debilitated in the 12th house.
Yeah.
See, these people are hardcore brahmacharis. Now let's go back to the first nun, if you remember, with the Jupiter in the 12th. If you remember, the Jupiter in the 12th was debilitated.
Debilitated, yes.
She was a good nun. She was a very good nun. But the moment the moon came, Jupiter felt exalted. Nicha Bhanga of Jupiter happened. And what happens if Nicha Bhanga of Jupiter will happen? She'll get married.
Oh, so the Antardasha of your planet actually helps the planet find their exalted position.
Exactly.
It's like moon shows the flashlight to Jupiter. Hey, look, here's you're exalted there.
Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, come home. Come home. So moment Jupiter goes to his home, he's exalted. And then the moment then he's feeling exalted means he's going to get her married. So if somebody wants to be a nun, wants to be sannyas, the planet in the 12th house must be debilitated. If there is no planet in the 12th, then the 12th Lord must be debilitated. Don't exalt it. Please don't. Similarly, you want somebody to get married, then ensure that the planet in the 12th house is exalted, make him strong.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we make? By donation, he becomes happy. It's very interesting concept. Anyway,
so Jupiter, Saturn, you can say that Jupiter will then again feel debilitated because Saturn will show that you're debilitated in the...
Exactly. You got it. You got the point. Kapil, you just hit the bullseye. That is the point. The whole point is look at the 12th planet in the 12th and the rest, apply your knowledge of Jyotish. You already have so much and that's it. It's not rocket science. It's easy.
Yeah. Well, you make it look easy.
Thank you.
Wow.
So next time we'll talk about that nice topic of Mandi and Gulika.
Yes. Wow.
Done.
So thank you so much, Sanjay ji, for coming. And are you having any courses happening, any lectures happening that people can...
Oh yeah, I'm going to Bava. I need to say that. Please, could you give a little tie-up to the people that I'm going to... I don't know, I should have made a page of that.
No, you can just tell us give me the link and I'll put it in the video. So
it's BAVA, bava.org, BAVA.
VAVA, okay.
Bava.org. You know, Komila's thing, you know?
Oh, okay.
In London. So we are having this conference and we are going to Bava. And why don't you come and join us?
Oh, I would love to. With 2 kids? Oh boy.
But next year, one of these years, you should come and join us. I have made it I call it my annual pilgrimage where we all meet up.
Oh.
You should make it.
Okay.
You should make it. I'm going to make it a point to tell Kamila that, hey, Kapil should be here with us in future.
Absolutely. Any plans of coming to US this year or next year?
This year, the doctor may not allow me even going to London. Right now, I'm keeping my fingers
crossed. Okay. I see. Yeah, the doctor.
Next year, definitely.
Okay.
I know I'll good enough to go. So next year, I'm going to have longer sessions with you.
Oh,
but
perfect.
Hey, this is very fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? So till next time. Ciao.
And also, your website is sanjayrath.com.
srath.com.
Okay. So, and then are you having any Gemini courses for people to learn right now? Because I know you guys were busy with some Gemini courses. That's why
we just finished that course, GSP year 1.
Okay.
And I will be going into GSP year 2 later. I'll make the announcement. Yes. Next time we talk, I will make a very nice announcement and I'll make it for the first time with you, Kapil.
Okay, perfect.
People have been looking forward to this. That is, I mean, for the last 5 years, they've been begging me. I said, fine, I'll use KRS.
Oh, use this platform. Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Sanjay ji.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.